Hi guys! Ngayong October 11, 2020 ay magbibigay ako ng personal analysis ko about Converge, Information and Communications Technology Solutions Inc. So, ang Converge ay isang telco company na nagpro-provide ng broadband internet and other connectivity services sa buong bansa. So, ito ay naitatag noong October 17, 2007 sa Pampanga. So, after niyang maitatag, kailangan nila of course, ng license to operate. So, nag-grant lang yung kanilang 25 years license noong 2009 at valid siya until August 2034. And after mag-grant yung license, nag-start lang sila ng operations 3 years after noong June 2012. So, 2020 ngayon, so more than 8 years in operations na sila. So, as just an update, noong August 2020, they entered into agreement with Telstra for the 5 terabits per second international bandwidth for 15 years. So, that's actually 7 times ng kanilang current bandwidth capacity. So, sa ngayon, dalawang types or business types ang siniservisyohan nila. The residential and of course the enterprise. The residential is yung mga bahay and the enterprise or mga company. So, ano naman pinagkaiba nila from other telco companies? So, una, sila lang yung pure play high-speed fixed broadband provider. Pangalawa is home broadband fiber are 2.2 times faster and 2.3 times reliable with over 35,000 fiber network and mababa yung kanilang churn rate. Yung churn rate, ito yung discontinuation or termination with your provider. Like for example, ako, kung hindi ako satisfied, syempre lilipat ako sa ibang internet provider. So, yun yung churn rate. So, syempre, mas mababa, mas maganda. Kasi ang churn rate nila is 0.7% sa first half ng 2020 versus the 1 to 2% ng competitors. So, currently, ang competitors lang naman nila is, of course, the giants. So, I think it's good kasi mostly satisfied naman yung kanilang mga customers. Kasi alam nyo naman, dito sa Pilipinas, isa sa pinakamabagal na internet and ano ba? Pero kahit na mabagal, mas marami or mas longer yung nagbababad or mas longer or mas matagal mag-internet yung mga Pinoy versus sa other countries. Which is actually a good opportunity for telco companies like Converge. Anyway, as of June 30, 2020, meron na silang 4.1 million homes or 28%. That's actually 28% ng 14.4 million homes dito sa Luzon as of December 31, 2018. So, actually, magandang number na rin yan. And they are present in 200 cities and municipalities across Luzon and Metro Manila. So, dito sila nag-ooperate currently. Dito sa Region 1, dito sa Ilocos. Region 3, Central Luzon. National Capital Region. Siyempre, Region 4A, Calabarzon, Cordillera Administrative Region, at saka sa Region 5 o sa Bicol area. So, since napansin nyo, dito pa lang sila present sa Luzon, kailangan nilang mag-expand or gusto nilang i-connect ang Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao by next year, 2021. So, para mangyari yan is of course kailangan nilang mag-raise ng funds. Kaya sila nag-IPO at mag-o-offer ng primary shares sa public na 480,839,941. final offer price per Converge share is 16.80 pesos. So, makakalikom sila ng 8.08 billion pesos. Ililes natin yung estimated expenses nila sa IPO na to, which is like for example kasama yung sa SEC, sa PSE expenses, ano pa, yung mga professional fees kasama din dyan, and etc. etc. So that's a total of 388.7 million pesos. So, ang estimated na matitira na lang sa kanila ay after nung IPO expenses ay 7.69 billion pesos. So, itong 7.69 billion pesos na to, 100% ay mapupunta sa capital expenditures na gagastusin nila next year to 2021. Next year, 2021 to 2022. So, 100% capital expenditures or capital expansion, which is actually good. So, saan mapupunta? So, actually, more on sa property, plant, and equipment. Ay, dun siya mapupunta, 100%. So, syempre, majority or 60 to 80% or nasa around 4.61 to 6.15 million pesos. Billion. 4.61 to 6.15 billion pesos ay mapupunta sa outside plant equipment. So, ano ba tong outside plant equipment? Ito yung, syempre majority, kailangan malakas na signal. Or malakas na signal, reliable na signal. So, kailangan nila ng, ano ba yun? Yung parang sa globe or tel, yung malaki, or it's the poste, hindi siya poste, parang tower. So, syempre, kailangan nila yon. Ano pa? Syempre, fiber optic cables, kailangan din nila yon. And, of course, kailangan din nila ng, syempre, tulad nga ng sinabi ko, is the bandwidth, which is, eto nga, they enter into agreement with Telstra for the bandwidth, which is 7 times of their current capacity, bandwidth capacity, which is actually good. And then, syempre, yung 10 to 20% ay mapupunta or about 768 million to 1.54 billion ay mapupunta or gagastusin sa inside plant equipment. So, ano ba tong inside plant equipment na to? So, syempre, sa mga yan, kailangan nila ng electrical wires or ano ba to? Yeah, kakailangan nila ng mga electrical wires at saka routers dito sa inside plant equipment. And of course, the remaining 10 to 20% or 768 million rin to 1.54 billion ay mapupunta sa other property, plant, and equipment and intangible assets. So, eto, kasama na dito yung sa mga magpapakabit ng internet, kasama yung modems, routers, ano pa. Meron ding nilalagay na wires kapag nagpa-install ka ng internet sa bahay. Tapos, mag-a-add din sila ng additional funds para pambili ng office equipment. Like, for example, laptops. So, yun. Diyan mapupunta yung 7.69 billion pesos or 100% mapupunta sa capital expenditures for their network expansion. Kasi aim nila is to reach 55% or 15.13 million of the estimated 27.5 million household by 2025. So, currently meron silang 4.1. So, reach target nila next 5 years. So, next 5 years, computing ko lang. So, next 5 years, mag-a-add sila ng 11.03 million homes or household. So this is actually very aggressive kasi yung 4.1 million homes na-reach nila in 8 years. Ito, 11.03 million ang target nila in 5 years, within the next 5 years. So, yeah, kailangan nila talaga dito, since very aggressive target, syempre, very aggressive strategy ang kailangan nila dyan. So, yeah, let's see kung ma-reach nila yung target na to by 2025. Anyway, let's move on sa management team. So, ang Converge ay itinatag ni Mr. Dennis Anthony Uy, kasama niya si Miss Maria Grace Uy. So, si Mr. Dennis Uy, siya din yung CEO and Executive Director and founder ng Comclark and Board of Directors of other companies. Maraming, of several companies actually, to be honest. Yung Comclark, ito actually yung isa sa mga shareholder ng Converge. Anyways, si Miss Grace, Maria Grace Uy naman, si Mr. Dennis Anthony Uy, tubong Pampanga to Hindi siya related dun naman sa isang Uy din, Dennis Uy, ng dito. So, magkaibang tao to from Dennis Uy ng dito. Pero pareho silang Dennis Uy, pero may Anthony to, may Anthony lang siya. So, anyway, next is si Maria Grace Uy. Siya yung, sabi ko nga kanina, kasama niya si Mr. Dennis Anthony Uy na nagtatag ng Converge. At siya rin yung President and Chief Financial and Chief Resources Officer and Executive Director ng Converge. At current CFO ng Angeles City Cable TV and Comclark. So, and the rest of the team, pwede nyo na lang siyang basahin sa kanilang prospectus. Actually, kasama doon, ang natandaan ko kasama si Mr. Yung BSP Governor, dating BSP Governor, which is, who is, sino ba yan? Matalinong governor ng BSP dati. Si Amanda Tetangco Jr. Kasama siya, pero non-executive director siya. So, now let's move on sa financial aspects. Actually, medyo boring siya. But, simplihan lang natin. Kasi, syempre, ang kailangan lang naman natin is tignan natin kung kumikita ba yung company, nalulugi, or umakyat ba yung kita, o bumababa yung kita. So, yun. Guna naman, kita at saka gastusin. So, kung titignan mo naman yung revenues nila, ay lumalaki naman from 2.9 noong 2017, ngayon, noong 2019 ay nasa 9.1 billion pesos na. At estimates ko, marireach niya ang 12 billion this year. So, makikita nyo yung ratio, yung growth, from 71.91% naging 80.82% 2019. So, yung cost of sales or cost of services, kung makikita nyo, syempre, relative siya sa revenues. So, kung tumaas yung revenues, syempre, tataas din yung cost of sales. Pero, mas, kung titignan nyo siya in percentage form or in percentage growth, medyo by 2019 medyo nag-stabilize yung cost. So, medyo naging efficient sila. And gross profit, okay naman, umaakyat. Sa operations expenses, kasi nga, tingin ko dahil sa nag-expand sila, of course, lalaki din yung expenses. And maliban dyan is nagkaroon kasi sila dito ng utang. O nangutang sila or loan. Kaya, dumagdag sa, no. Yeah, sa ano lang to? Sa operations pala to, kasi interest naman pala yon. So, no. Hindi kasama dyan yung loans. Kasi iba pala siya. Mapupunta yung interest sa loans dito. Kaya makikita mo, ang laki ng interest dito. Dito sa operations, tingin ko it's about the expansion or expansion sa Luzon. And syempre, mostly is the manpower, of course. And then, syempre, net income after tax, kung makikita nyo, 2017-2018, parang ano lang siya. Ano ba to? Hindi siya masyadong gumalaw or maliit lang yung inakyat. Kasi 1.23 billion pesos yung net income nila ng 2017. 2018, nadagdagan lang ng more or less 11 million. Naging 1.24. Oh, no. Actually, 1.23. So, nadagdagan lang siya ng konti, di ba? 11 nga. 11 million pesos. So, at least noong 2019, medyo malaki-laki naman yung inakyat at halos close na sila sa 2 billion pesos na kita. Of course, by this year, I'm expecting na more than 2.24 billion pesos yung kanilang kikitain. Kasi isa sila sa mga companies na nag-benefit kahit na pandemic ngayon. Kasi syempre, nasa bahay lahat, so mostly ay gumagamit ng internet. So yun, okay naman siya on the income statement side. Kumikita naman at lumalaki naman yung kita ng kumpanya. So on the balance sheet side, tingnan naman natin yung mga assets niya, yung pinagkakautangan niya, at of course, kung ano yung in-invest ng mga shareholders. So, kung makikita nyo, yung current assets, or ito yung mga liquid assets na pwede mong ma-dispose agad, is actually umaakyat naman siya from 1.66 billion pesos to 11.2 billion pesos noong 2019. And of course, dito sa 2020, I'm expecting a 24.23 billion pesos kasi kasama dyan yung mariraise nila funds from IPO. Yan yung 7.69 billion pesos kasama dyan. Kasi 2021 pa naman nila balak gastusin. So, syempre, readily available cash nila yon. So, dito naman sa non-current assets, this is actually yung mostly property, plant, and equipment. Kasi syempre, capital extensive ang isang telco company. So, tingnan mo, mostly is nandito lang siya. Majority of it, mapupunta dyan sa capital expenditures. I mean, capital, property, plant, and equipment, So, from 3.37 billion noong 2017 to 19.95 billion noong 2019. So, I'm expecting a 26.20 billion pesos this year. So, overall assets ng company is 5 billion noong 2017, 12 billion noong 2018, to 31 billion 2019, and of course to possibly more than 50 billion this year based on my own estimates. So halos ang laki pala ng growth niya kasi capital extensive din talaga to. So at least ibig sabihin, hindi lang sa assets ay invest from operations, and of course, financed by debtors and stockholders. So, makikita nyo dito, yung liabilities nila is umaakyat. So, mostly, yung current is because of the loans. Actually, meron na silang loans payable ng 2017 pa. pero mas lumaki noong 2018-2019. So, next is non-current. Kung makikita nyo, ang laki ng inakyat ng loans payable. So, kasi nga dito nangutang na sila. Ito by 2019, last year, 2019. Kaya, mas lumaki yung kanilang utang from 1.8 billion pesos to 18.99 billion pesos. Ang laki pala, no? Malaki pala ng inakyat niya. To possibly 23 billion pesos this year. And of course, dun naman sa capital stock or ano ba to, finand ng shareholders kasama yung cumulative earnings or retained earnings and the minority interest nasa around 3.22 billion ng 2017 hanggang sa lumaki siya to 12 billion noong 2019 to possibly 27 billion this year based on our own estimates. So, yun. Medyo boring nga lang siya. Basta ang mahalaga lang naman is, yun. Kumikita yung kumpanya. So, makikita mo dyan. Kumikita naman siya. Yung balance sheet, syempre, kailangan matatag din, stable. So, more or less, stable din naman siya. Makikita natin siya dito sa basic ratios na lang. So, kita mo, yung revenue growth is actually growing pero mag-stabilize siya by this year. Yung revenue growth. And yung profit margin, kung makikita mo, nasa around, naglalaro siya sa around 50% or more than 50%. So, actually, okay na din yun for a telco company. And then, for the net income margin, nasa average around 20%. So, for every piso na kita nila, ang naiiwan or ang natitira is 20 cents, which is okay na din. At kung makikita naman natin yung balance sheet ratios, current ratio, dito lang ako nag-ano kasi medyo bumaba siya. So, ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung utang nila dito, 2018, kaysa sa liquid assets nila. Pero at least, magpipick up dito sa 2020 because of the IPO na na-raise. Kasi mapupunta yun sa cash temporarily, bago nila gastusin. So, sa asset to equity, so, naglalaro lang siya around 2, more than 2.5. Debt to equity, mas malaki yung utang sa equity contribution or sa mga kinontribute ng mga shareholders plus the accumulated earnings. So, ibig sabihin lang, nangutang kasi sila, yun ang nagpalaki. Actually, malaki na din siya dito. Nangutang sila dyan. Pero mag-stabilize siya by this year kasi nga, lumaki din yung contribution ng mga shareholders, which is the equity portion. And debt to total assets, kung makikita nyo, nasa around 60% siya. Dito kasi nangutang siya But at least, dito sa 2020, syempre dahil sa IPO, mas lalaki yung total assets, which is mag-lower down yung kanilang debt because of higher asset base. So, I think yun lang yun sa ating financials. Now, let's move on sa pinaka-importanting part is the valuation. So, ang gagamitin natin ay tatlong gagamitin nating valuations: price-earnings ratio, price-to-book value ratio, and the market capitalization. So, market cap. So, ano ba yung price-earnings ratio? So, ito yung final offer price divided by earnings per share. Or, pwedeng market price in the case of listed shares divided by estimated earnings per share. So, yung estimated earnings per share, ito yung, kunwari, meron kang isang share, so, ilan dun, or magkano dun yung mapupunta sa'yo. So, kung meron kang isang share ng Converge, ang mapupunta sa'yo na earnings lang is 0.40 cents. I mean, 40 cents. So, ibig sabihin, the higher, or kung mas mataas yung price-earnings ratio, mas mataas mo siyang binabayaran yung earnings niya. Diba? Kasi eto, kunwari, bumili ka ng isang Converge, ibig lang sabihin nito in very simple terms is, kung base lang dito sa earnings, it will take you 41.59 years bago mo ma-recover yung piso na, or I mean, piso ba yun? I mean, yung price na pinambili mo ng Converge. Kasi 16.80 mo yung binili, di ba? So, bago mo ma-recover yung 16.80, aabutin ko ng 41.59 years. So, medyo matagal. So, syempre, mas maganda kung mas shorter, mas maganda. But, tignan mo naman, kasi si TEL, 11.54 si Globe, 12. Ito kasi, hindi pa sila talaga in full operations, kaya medyo mataas yung kanilang PER. But, on an average, 186.02, ibig sabihin nito, Converge is, ginawa ko siyang neutral, kasi ito kasi hindi pa siya in full operations I think it's better for Converge na itong dalawa lang. So, yeah, it's for you to decide kung i-include nyo ba yan or i-exclude in your decision making. But on a PER ratio, yeah, pwede siyang neutral or, yeah, para kasi sa akin neutral. But actually, pwede siyang sabihin natin na attractive or mababa based on the average ng 4 telcos. And price to book value valuation naman, ito yung ilang beses mong binabayaran yung isang yung book value kasi, this is the makukuha mo in case na magsara yung kumpanya. So, yung yung book value na is 3.59. So, yung 3.59, syempre, actually, maano na siya. So, ibig sabihin, nagbabayad ka ng nagbabayad ka ng 16.80 pesos. Pero kung sakaling magsara yung kumpanya, 3.59 lang yung makukuha mo. So, ibig sabihin, ang taas mong binabayaran siya. Yung market value over the book value. So, syempre, mas maganda kung 1:1 siya. Generally, that's the usual. Pero, pwede rin na, syempre, mas mababa versus the average. So, since ang average price to book value ng other telco companies is 3.39, syempre, Converge with the price to book value na 4.68 times is, for me, is expensive. Kaya siya red. Anyway, another way of calculating it is actually based on market cap. Actually, ginagamit ko tong market cap valuation sa cryptocurrencies kasi hindi naman available yung earnings or yung book value ng isang ng listed cryptocurrencies. So, syempre, gagamitin din natin siya dito sa stocks. Anyway, I will show you something. Kasi diba, yung final offer price niya, maximum, nung nag-announce sila is maximum 24. Pero yung maximum na 24, pinalitan nila or ni-revise nila na maximum na 19 pesos. So, yung 19 pesos yun yung ginamit nila sa kanilang prospectus. And then, yun, until nag-set sila ng final offer price na binabaan ulit nila to 16.80 pesos. So, I will show you kung paano nangyari yan. So, kasi kung titignan mo, average 145, 1, 2, 3, 145 billion ha. Ang market capitalization niya at final offer price 126. Pero kung 24 pesos yan, makikita mo, this is already expensive ha. Kasi 180. So, syempre, kaya binabaan nila ng 219. Kasi at 24, masyado na siyang mahal. Kasi tingnan mo, 180 billion na yung kanyang market cap. Samantalang yung average ng itong apat na to ay nasa 145 billion pesos lang. So, check natin yung 19. So, at 19 pesos, close lang siya. Medyo may pwede kang kitain actually. Pero, actually, hindi lang siya close. Parang at fair value lang siya kasi ang kikitain mo lang is 33 cents. So, syempre, kaya, binabaon ulit nila until nag-settle sila sa 16.80 na final offer price. So, yeah, at least at 16.80 price, meron ka ng possibly medyo mas attractive na siya. Kasi yan ay, yun nga, kanina, 19.33. So, kung ito yung prices ng ng mga apat na telco companies kasi kapag nagbago yan, magbabago din tong average market cap. Kasi ito, current prices to eh. Let's say, for example, itong dito naging 7. So, yung 19.33 na yan, magiging 19.50. So, ganon. So, ang ginamit lang natin is of course yung closing price ng Friday. So, yan. Nakikita ko yung fair value at around 19.33. So, dahil dyan, meron kang posibleng kitain na around, yan. Yeah. Pwede. Possible upside potential na around 15.06% at 16.80. Pero at least yan, medyo may kikitain ka na kasi versus naman yung 24 na sobrang mahal, 19, ano lang siya at fair value, at least dito sa 16, mas malaki or mas naging cheaper siya. At syempre, magkakaroon ka na din na return. So, yan. Ganun siya. So, I think this is the best na valuations for Converge, I think. Ito yung ginamit ko actually in my decisions. Kung magsusubscribe ako or hindi. Anyway, let's move on to the next, the offer terms. So, offer terms or Converge terms, ang offer nilang shares ay nasa around 1,505,273,510 at kung meron pang demand, malakas pa yung demand, with strong demand, pwede pa silang mag-alat ng additional 225,791,026 shares. So, at offer price na 16.80, ang market capitalization after IPO, at IPO price ay nasa 126 billion pesos. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So, yun. I-explain ko siya. Kasi diba sabi ko kanina, dito sa introduction, 480 lang. 480 something? 480 million yung primary shares and the remaining shares ay manggagaling sa existing shareholders. So, ibig sabihin, yung Coherent Cloud Investments BV at saka yung Clark Network and Technology Corporation, yung existing or yung current or existing shareholders ng Converge ay magbebenta ng kanilang shares at ililipat sa ibang shareholder or sa public. So, yun. So, actually, ito lang yung mapupunta talaga sa kumpanya. Yung gross, around 8 billion or 7.69 billion net. Pero yung remaining na 17.21 billion pesos, ito mapupunta sa shareholder na si Coherent Cloud at saka si Clark Network. So, nagbebenta na sila. So, bakit sila nagbebenta? So, yun. So, next is the public float. Public float, ito yung percentage ownership ng public. So, kung hindi natin isasama yung over-allotment, kung hindi siya in demand, ganun parang actually ganun. Kung hindi masama yung over-allotment, ibig sabihin, hindi ganun kalakas yung demand. So, public float is around 20%. Pero, kung mabenta pa rin, kasama yung over-allotment na 225 million shares, that's a public float of around 23%. So, now let's move on sa, kanino ba ito mapupunta? Or, yung allocation. So, 70% ay mapupunta sa, or ibibenta nila sa mga institutional investors, 20% sa trading participants, and of course, 10% sa local small investors. So, that's 100%. Offer shares. Hindi kasama yung over-allotment, Hindi ko na siya sinama. Pero kung may kakaroon ng over-allotment, magkakaiba yung ratio. Anyways, so, dapat lang na institutional investors 70%. Kasi nga, hindi kakayanin. Kasi yung 70% na yan is nasa around 17.70 billion pesos yan sa institutional investors. Trading participant nasa 5.06 billion pesos at saka sa local small investors 2.53 billion pesos. So, medyo mabigat siya. Kasi ang total na ibibenta nila sa public around 25.29 million pesos. So, sobrang bigat. Kasi, di ba yung first na IPO natin is, wait lang, Mary Mart. So, ang in-offer lang niyang shares ay at 1 peso, 1.59 billion lang yun. Pesos. Ito, 25 to around 29 billion pesos. So, ang laki. So, anyway, kung magsusubscribe kayo, ang minimum shares na pwede mong mabili is 500 shares or that's 8,400 pesos. Then, kung gusto mo pang magdagdag in multiples of 100. Anyway, ang max amount is pina-approve nila sa SEC and na-approve siya. Maximum amount 1 million pesos or that's equivalent to 59,500 shares. So, medyo malaki-laki kasi dito sa max amount normally is 100,000. Actually, inakyat na nila to. Dati kasi 25,000 yun And then, naging 100,000. Then, ito, this is unusual. Hindi naman sa actually unusual kasi nga pina-approve nila sa SEC but acceptable naman siya. Kasi nga approve naman siya. So, kung gusto mong mag-subscribe, maximum 1 million pesos pwede. Anyway, start of the offer, actually bukas na, October 12, Monday, October 12. And then end of the offer is October 16, 2020. Or that's October 16, that's actually Friday. So, this week pala siya. And of course, ito, submission of firm offer and commitment by PSE trading participants. Actually, October 14 or that's Wednesday. So, pwede mo siyang kontakin yung mga brokers ninyo at mag-commit na kayo at least at most Tuesday. Sabihan nyo sila kasi October 14 nila ipapasa to sa PSE. But anyway, pwede pa rin naman kayong mag-subscribe sa mismong underwriter after nun. Kasi ang mga underwriter natin, madami kasama dyan yung may mga global underwriters and syempre local underwriters kasi malaking amount yung i-release. So, yeah. And of course, the tentative listing date sa main board is October 26. So, yun. With the ticker Cnvrg. So, yun. So, actually, hindi ako magbibigay ng recommendations, pero magbibigay ako ng summary. So, which is makikita nyo naman dito. So, on the positive side, telco are resilient industry despite pandemic. And nakita nyo naman, syempre higher data kasi nasa bahay lang sila. And of course, when it comes to stock performance, wait, I think na-update ko yung yeah, I updated. Dito sa PSEI ROI, makikita nyo na yung telco companies is one of the green. So, resilient stock siya. So, tingnan mo si Globe. Up siya ng 1.49%. And Telden is up by 32.59%. And of course, yung other telco, which is si dito, year-to-date up ng 79.07%. At saka si Now na up naman siya ng 91.57%. Kung makikita nyo, the PSEI is actually year-to-date down ng 24.10%. So, yan. Maganda yung telco play at kasama din dyan. Yung retail, actually, si Pure Gold. Okay din yung performance. Si Emperador and MPI sa other industries. But telco, yan. Ganda. Green siya. So, na-update ko siya as of October 9. Yung mga prices. So, yun. On that positive side or positive points. So, next is 100% of the proceeds from IPO ay gagamitin sa capital expenditures. So, sabi ko nga kanina, since mas binabaan nila yung price, which is naging cheaper, so yung ma-raise nilang net proceeds from the IPO is 100% na nilang gagamitin sa capex. Wala nang mapupunta sa general corporate purposes. Kasi nung ginawa nila yung prospectus kasi is that's at maximum na 19 pesos. So, yun. Next, they have a good management team and proven track record. Anyway, you can just read it sa kanilang prospectus. So, next is, there's a possible upside based on the valuations. Ito yung ginamit ko. There's a possible upside na around 15% at this closing prices, ha. Kasi ito nagbabago to, katulad na ng sinabi ko kanina. So, there's a possible upside kasi maganda kasi yung telco industry and telco performance, stock performance. And of course, the PER is better or attractive versus the average PER of competitors. So, punta din tayo sa valuations. Yeah, attractive din siya versus these four competitors or 4 telco companies. Attractive siya kasi green. 41.59 PER versus 186 na average based on my estimates. And then on the negative sides, ang nakikita ko naman is eto, existing shareholders are selling more than the primary shares. So, tingnan natin. I think this is, nandito pala siya. So, yeah. Diba? Kita mo naman, ang i-raise ng company is 8 billion pesos gross ha. Pero yung mga existing shareholders ng Converge is magbibenta sila ng shares nila mas malaki pa. More than actually 2 times. Wait lang without the over-allotment 2.13 times. So, mapapisip ka bakit sila magbibenta ngayon. Diba? Kasi kung nakikita mo naman na maganda yung future ng company, I think you will hold the stock. Diba? So, maybe kailangan nilang mag-exit or kailangan nila ng pera for mas better ROI. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, for me, it's a negative. Diba? Diba? Kasi syempre, as an investor, kunwari ako, magbibenta ako kasi masaya na ako sa profit ko. Kasi may nakikita akong other opportunities na mas malaki yung ROI. Diba? So, ganun lang yun. In my opinion, of course. And then, the price to book value valuation is expensive versus the average. So, valuation ulit. So, price to book value 4.68 versus the average 3.39. It's expensive. So, next, negative is too heavy. Masyado siyang mabigat. Ganito kasi yan. Kasi 'di ba, yung sinundan niya, I mean yung Merrimart, ang ni-raise lang niya more than 1 billion. Ito, ang i-raise niya 25 billion to 29. So parang masyadong mabigat para i-push ng market. Kailangan malaki yung demand para ma-push siya higher. Tapos, maliban dyan is, naalala ko yung yung sa physics nung high school. Di ba pag may isang object na hindi gumagalaw, ano bang tawag dun? Yung force na kailangan mo. Kapag hindi pa siya gumagalaw, mas greater yung force na kailangan mo para pagalawin ang isang bagay. Pero kapag yung isang bagay ay gumagalaw na, mas less force yung gagamitin mo. So, yun. I don't know. Naisip ko lang. Pumasok lang sa isip ko. So, dito, mabigat na siya, hindi pa siya gumagalaw. So, kailangan mo ng more demand, more force para mapaakyat mo siya. Unless na lang, itong mga institutional at trading participants ay hindi magbenta or talagang long-term sila. So, possibly, pwedeng ma-push, di ba? So, but of course, it still depends sa kanilang decisions kung kailan nila ibibenta. Anyways, and of course, for other informations, you can also check or download their 495, I think, close to, 495 pages na prospectus sa corporate.convergeict.com/prospectus. So, lalagay ko na lang din siya dito sa description, yung link. So, yun yung positive and negative points na nakikita ko for this IPO. And then, personal strategy, actually, hindi ako magbibigay ng kung magsasubscribe ako or what, but, yeah. Ito yung personal, I'll just share my own personal strategy. So, kung nakikita nyo, the risk reward is, dito, risk reward is, hindi siya ganon ka-attractive para sa akin for me to subscribe. Kasi sabi ko nga, kapag nag-TA ako, pumapasok ako if the risk reward is at least 2, diba? And I don't think na ganun siya talaga ka-rewarding. So, kaya hindi ako magsusubscribe. Next is that, punta ulit dito tayo sa valuation. Kung makikita nyo, this is the stock that I currently hold. Meron akong dito at meron din akong now. Kung makikita nyo, yung market capitalization nila, they are maliit pa. So, for me, it's still undervalued versus the average. So, malaki pa yung upside potential. In my opinion, of course. Maliban dyan, dito is also will roll out its operations next year, 2021. So, yeah, tingin ko malaki pa yung possible upside niya. And then next, anyways, dito nakapag-purchase ako nung bumagsak yung market around March 25. You can also access my videos na, yeah, I think sinabi ko na nag-purchase ako ng dito, March 25. At saka iba pang shares like Pure Gold and yeah, I think Pure Gold nabenta ko na So yun, actually dito na-trade ko pa naman siya but currently I'm still holding dito pa rin, dito stocks. And then Now Corporation, yeah, bumili ako ng Now because syempre maliban sa undervalued pa siya based on the market cap, magkakaroon kasi siya ng if you go to Pag-iinvest, mababasa nyo doon yung plan nila to list by way of introduction. Ang ililist nila is their subsidiary na si Now Telecom. Kasi Now here is the parent, which is the Now Corporation. Ang ililist nila by way of introduction is the Now Telecom. And syempre, makakakuha ka lang ng Now Telecom through property dividends like what Robinson's Land Corporation did sa APBI. So, eto siya. At kung makikita mo, the companies listed by way of introduction in my sheet, average mo, hindi mo naman siya binili actually So, para siyang airdrop when it comes to, parang libre mo siya makukuha. Ang kailangan mo lang is of course to hold some Now shares. So, kung makikita mo yung average, average neto is, average na possible ROI is around 57%. Pero ang pinakamalaki is, yeah, this is pinakamalaki around 500. Kasi pag yung isang stock, like for example, kung malis na si Now Telecom by way of introduction, wala kasi siyang ceiling at wala siyang floor sa first day. So, yun yung tinitignan kong another opportunity. At maliban dyan, syempre, nakikita nyo naman yung ROI niya. Year to date, which is, sana ba yan? Maganda, di ba? Yung ROI ng telco companies. Sana to? Ito, di ba? Ganda ng ROI ng dito at saka Now. Mas, actually, way better than Tel at saka Globe. Di ba? So, next, si Converge, imo-monitor ko siya within the next 12 months. Bakit? Because, in my opinion, magiging part ito ng PSEI within the next 12 months or siguro mga more or less 1.5 years or 18 months subject to liquidity. Liquidity, kailangan is maging part ka ng 25% liquid stocks for the 12 months under review. And then, free float mo is dapat at least 15%. Free float niya, 20% na to And of course, top 30 based on full market cap. So, syempre, for sure to, malaki to. Malaki to Valuation pa lang, di ba? Umakyat lang yan ng konti, magiging kasama na yan sa index very soon. Within, I think, tingin ko within the next 24 months, baka kasama na siya sa index. Let's see. Basta monitor ka na lang siya. So, yun yung gagawin ko for Cnvrg or Converge. And yeah, and of course, syempre kung may opportunity to buy it based on sa TA, yeah, pwede naman siyang pasukin. So, yan. I think that's it, guys. So, disclaimer lang, guys, or mahalagang paalala. Trading and investing have risks, so please always trade with caution. Thanks, guys.